This lesson is on section 9.6 titled Slope-Intercept Form. So the slope-intercept form we are going to say is y equals mx plus b. And that's kind of the form that we're going to want to put all of our equations into when finding our slope and our y-intercept and eventually graphing lines. So this m, that's our slope. That's our rise over run. That's how kind of that steepness of the line. That's value determines that. And then our b is our y-intercept. That's where it crosses our y-axis. So if we know that, then it's going to be really, really, really easy to graph lines. So let's go into it. So state the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of each equation. So I'm going to put y equals mx plus b. This formula is going to be your friend this chapter or this lesson. So you're going to keep writing it multiple times. Okay, again, our m is our slope, and then our b is our y-intercept. I'm just going to put y for there. Okay, so we know, well, this is already in the form. So y equals, this is our mx plus b. So because this is a subtraction sign, we have to be careful. So this is really saying, like, we can add a plus sign here, plus -4. If it was positive, we'd be fine, but just be careful when it's negative. So our slope, we know, is going to be 2/3. So we can say slope equals 2/3. And then our y-intercept is going to be -4. Again, include that negative with your value. Okay, just be really careful with that. That's a really common mistake. That's why I did this example. Again, pretend that you know that imaginary plus sign is there. Okay, so the next one, it says x plus y equals 6. So right away, this is not in slope-intercept form. So we need to change that. So we need to have just a y on one side of the equation, and then we need our, x and, any other thing on the other side of the equation. So I want to, I need to move this part over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract x from this side and subtract x from this side. So that's going to cross this out, and I'm left with y equals 6 minus x. Okay, so but I need it to be y equals mx, so that x has to come before. So I'm just going to kind of rewrite the problem as y equals -x plus 6. Okay, so now I got it into the form. That's, that will be your hardest part. You need to have your x come first and then your intercept come last. Okay, so now our slope. Now we don't have a number in front of my x, and if that, all we have is a negative sign. And if that's the case, you can automatically kind of assume there's a 1 in front. So we can say that our slope here is going to be -1, and then our y-intercept here is going to be my 6. So just going to kind of summarize what we just did. Make sure you have it in slope-intercept form before you identify the slope and the y-intercept. Make sure you have, your sum number with your x in the front. Then you got the, your b, your y-intercept by itself, and then you got your y, at the beginning of your equation. It gets a little confusing at the beginning, but then once you get more practice, you'll get the hang of it. So let's do the next example. So now we're going to actually graph the equation using the slope and the y-intercept. So we first have to identify, first let's write our equation. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we have our y equals our m and then the x plus our b. So we're in good shape here. So my m is going to be my slope. So my slope is going to be -3/2. So that's my, rise over run. So we're going down 3 and we're going over 2. And then my y-intercept is going to be my -1. Okay, so when I graph my equation, So I'm going to graph my y-intercept first. So I'm going to graph this first. I'm going to put -1 on my line. So this is my y-intercept. Put this in red. Okay. Now I have to use my slope. So that means I'm going to go down, because that negative, see, it's down 3 and over 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go over 2. So my point's going to be right here. So now I'm going to draw my line. It's good. It's a negative slope because we have that negative here. That's perfect. It's going, from the top left to the bottom right, so we know that's negative. And that's my line. So again, I was able to find the slope and the y-intercept and graph it. Next example, graph 2x plus y equals 3 using slope and y-intercept. Okay, so let's go back to y equals mx plus b. Okay. So first of all, I noticed it's not in the right form. So let me get it in the right form. So I'm going to take 2x minus 2x from each side. So I'm going to say y is going to equal negative 2x plus 3. Now I have it in slope-intercept form. So I have my slope and I have my my y-intercept. So let's graph. So my y-intercept is 3. A different color. Okay. And my slope is -2. So I'm going to go down 2. And if there's, nothing underneath, we're going to think there's a 1 underneath. We're going to go down 2, and we're going to go over 1. And that's my point here. Graph my line. And again, it's a negative slope because we have this negative here. So that's important. It goes from top left to the bottom right. Remember, that's a negative slope. And then that's it. So using that formula y equals mx plus b, we're able to easily graph a line when we're able to pick out our slope and we're able to pick out our y-intercept. Thanks for watching.